Good evening. I'd like to call the Satsuma City Council to order for our regular meeting of January the 9th, 2024, our first meeting of the year. This is our first meeting where we are doing it without a pre-council to start off, so tonight we will go right into the meeting and hopefully get everything addressed and get us out of here in a reasonable time. So we don't have too much on the agenda. There was a couple things that was changed. Just the weather's kind of messed us up in the last couple of days. But first thing we do is the call to order, and then we always go with the invocation. And Mr. Little has agreed to do the invocation tonight. So momentarily, we'll ask to make sure that you have turned your phones off if you have them on. If you haven't any cap on or anything, remove that, please. And when we do stand, please remain standing then for the pledge, which will follow. Mr. Little, you lead us in invocation.
Lord, we thank you for the day you've given us. Just thank you for keeping us all safe through the weather last night and this morning, Father. Just thank you for the ones that are here, represented here, Father. We just ask your blessings on our meeting this evening. Give us strength, Lord. Watch over and be with our first responders. We just ask your blessings on us, Father, as a city. Just watch over us, and we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Little. Jessica, give us a roll call, please.
Present.
Councilmember Butler. Councilmember Skelton.
Present.
Councilmember Reese.
Present.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Barlow.
Here, please let the record reflect that all of the elected officials are here with the exception of Mr. Butler, who is under the weather. Also yourself, the city attorney, and the department heads. We sent the agenda out yesterday to you so y'all could look over. We did have to make a change. The weather did prevent the key kids from coming tonight. We're going to reschedule that for the next meeting, and that was just due to the weather. But with that being said, the agenda was given yesterday. So is there any questions, additions, deletions, or anything anybody would like to make?
Make motion we approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Ms. Reese to approve the agenda as distributed with the one correction that we've already noted. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is the minutes from our past meeting, which is in our packet of information. Y'all should have received that in your email yesterday. The past meeting of December the 19th, 2023. Any corrections, additions, deletions, or can you get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Who made the second?
Were you here? You weren't here.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, and I think it was made and seconded by Mr. Little to approve the minutes from the past meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. Recognitions, moving on. We've already discussed the key students due to the weather will be on our next meeting. So we'll move past that, and we'll go next to our swearing-in ceremony. We have on the agenda tonight for our new hires in the police department and the fire department. So, Chiefs, which one of y'all want to lead off tonight with the first swearing in? All right, we're going to let the fire department start it off tonight. Judge, thank you for attending. Judge Williams, I think most of y'all know. Here.
Just need somebody to hold the Bible. Step right over here. How are you, sir? Good. Would you please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand? And repeat after me. I, Jared May, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Alabama, obey the laws and ordinances of the City of Satsuma, familiarize myself, and be obedient to the rules and regulations of the Satsuma Fire Rescue Department, and faithfully serve the City of Satsuma in the discharge of my duties as a firefighter, EMT, to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. There's another additional paragraph. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust. And I accept, so long as I am true to the ethics of the Satsuma Fire Rescue Department, and make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Congratulations. Chief.
While he's being pinned, Jared has been with us not quite a year, came to us as an EMT advanced. Went through 9 weeks of school, 360 hours, and just graduated several weeks ago.
Kind of hard to get through a new shirt, huh? Yeah. There you go. Good. Okay. Okay, now, Troy with the police department.
All right, please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Larry Scruggs,
I, Larry Scruggs,
do most solemnly
do most solemnly
and sincerely swear
and sincerely swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
that I will enforce the laws
that I will enforce the laws
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the State of Alabama
of the State of Alabama
and the City of Satsuma,
and the City of Satsuma,
so long as I serve
so long as I serve
as a police officer of this city,
as a police officer of this city,
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
and position
and position
for which I am about to enter,
for which I am about to enter,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Mayor and Council,
Okay.
thank y'all.
Judge, thank you for coming out and swearing in. And I don't know if the council would like to say anything or not, but I would like to welcome both of you young gentlemen aboard, and hopefully you will enjoy your time here and be productive members of our public safety, and something we're very, very proud of, and we hope to maintain what we've had and continue the what's been here for a long time. So again, welcome aboard and let us know if we can help you with anything. You have anything, gentlemen? Ms. Reese? Okay. Okay. We move past recognitions to visitors tonight. Is Ms. Long here? I've not seen her in tonight. Well, we'll move on to the next person who's not on the agenda, but he has been here before, and if it's okay with the council, we will let him introduce himself and see if he's got a couple words to say. And that's Mr. Chris Callahan. Chris, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, Mayor and Council, thank you very much. Hello, everyone, I'm Chris Callahan, and I'm your Republican candidate for Mobile County Circuit Court Judge, basically running for 3 reasons. One, I believe I have the most varied and the best experience to do this job. Secondly, I'm running because Republican values matter. And lastly, because I think the people deserve a people's judge elected by the people. I wish I had time to expound on all of that, but I don't want to take up all of the council's time. But please understand that I am a lifelong Republican. I'm a former police officer, turned homicide detective, then attorney, and then I've been a judge the last 5 years. I would love to have your support and your vote for Mobile County Circuit Court Judge. You can check me out at www.judgechriskallahan.org. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you for coming out tonight, Chris. Okay, I see a couple other people we have here tonight. If there's anyone else that'd like to come before the council, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and let us know what issue you may have, and we will certainly see if we can address it or at least make some notes of that. Yes, ma'am, please come forward. You can turn the podium if you'd like, Chief, so you can address us, or. There you go.
Thank you for seeing me.
Sure.
I've lived in Satsuma for 21 years and have loved it. I'm Dr. Dina Zahner-Stokes. I live at 5479 Colony Trees Court. We're currently underway building our dream home on Marlowe Drive. And sadly, 21 years of living here and building a home, this is my first time speaking to anybody about my concerns. And I'm sorry.
Well, come on.
I have a list. It's like a laundry list. The first thing, the issue I have is the dogs running at large.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
The first issue I have is the dogs running at large. There's a couple of issues with that. We currently have a city ordinance on dogs running at large. We have one sign that says so, but it's only in front of, on Baker Road, in front of the Timberland Drive, excuse me. That's the only sign there is in Satsuma that I'm aware of. I know we probably don't have it in the budget to hire animal control. We usually call the county, is that correct? To handle that?
When we try to pick dogs up, we do call the county for that.
Okay. Outside of enforcing it, I'd like to see more dogs running at large signs, preferably, I think that would be the least expensive way to go about this route, because not everybody is in the know about it. I brought this up on Voices of Satsuma. I've received quite a bit of feedback. No one really knew about that. I took a picture of the ordinance sign and posted it on my post. However, there's a twofold issue to this. Those that walk their dogs with leashes, rightfully so, they're leaving excrement around the mailboxes and in people's yards. It's nerve-wracking. We like living here for a reason, and I do believe it's not very neighborly if someone just leaves excrement behind that their dog leaves behind, instead of bringing, say, a potty bag or something like that. So I don't know how you would enforce that. I don't know if that would be littering or what. That's my first issue. I feel like I've called the police department. I'm beating a dead horse or something. Someone even brought up the idea of having volunteers for animal control. I don't know how that's going to roll or how that would be enforced, period, through regular Joe, normal public citizens. But just for starters, more signs. And I propose that if it's possible, could we put them below a stop sign? Not at every stop sign. I get that. More so the main stop sign as you're leaving a neighborhood or a subdivision. So that way it won't be so everywhere, but cost effective just the same. And are we able to post those kind of signs on the same post as a stop sign?
I don't know if we'd put dogs running at large at some of the major intersections or not.
No.
But I mean, we can post more signs. Yes, ma'am, the answer to that question would be yes.
Okay. Okay, that's great. I also would like to request with the construction traffic that I have going on Marlowe Drive and Baker Road, can we put a stop sign on Baker Road and Marlowe? There's a low hanging tree there. You can't see who's in the other side turning in.
Okay.
That's my issue with that. Children running at large. I didn't have a better way of saying that. My property on Marlowe Drive has long been the public recreational playground. Bikes, golf carts, ATVs, you name it. And the trash has been unbelievable for the past 8 years that I've owned that property. It's been fabulous. That being said, I've pretty much told everybody, okay, the week before that we poured the footers, I'm like, this is your last weekend of hanging out here or target practicing or whatever you're doing. Because number one, the trash has been something, and for your safety. I don't really get it, but it's still I'm not still being heard. And I've been polite, I've requested, and I've even posted it to anybody. I've even told like neighborhood dads that, coach the teams or the kids, would you spread the word? It's off limits now. That being said, the trash is fabulous, let alone the construction trash. However, there's a ditch that runs alongside my property in between Braxton Court and my property. It's a main drainway, I think it is. I spent the Saturday after Thanksgiving picking up that entire ditch, and I picked every piece of trash that wasn't on my side of the property up. I don't think some of my neighbors are aware that the property beyond their fence is theirs and there's trash behind it. Also, I pulled out as many as I could reach of fence boards that were shoved in the main drain. Now, there's got to be a rule there. That's a big no-no. There's more debris and inflatables and toys and fence boards in that drain. I cannot reach them. It's clogged to this day. This is not really an issue, but it's my last thing. I don't know how in the world it could be fixed. On Colony Trace Court, where I currently reside, I have a beach. I live in the cul-de-sac, and during a rainstorm, when we do have them, all the runoff runs to the end of the street, the circle, if you will. The, if you will, gutter in front of my house appears to be lower than the other neighbors in the cul-de-sac. Therefore, dirt settles there. I have a fabulous beach. It needs to be shoveled again somewhere, and yes, there's potholes there because of the trash truck and whatever trucks. It's just been worn, and it won't stay paved, if you will, at all, with, it holding the water really well during rainstorms, as well as water sitting there and nowhere to go. That might be a concrete issue, or I don't know if it's even an Army Corps engineer thing, but can something be done about that?
Where is your address there, ma'am? I'm sorry, I'm trying to picture where the,
Okay. I can answer this question.
okay, huh?
This is my address. This is my property.
Okay,
This is my property.
right,
There's a big ditch.
right.
There's a,
Yeah, I've seen where you started the clearing back there now.
it's been cleared pretty much.
I mean, you have some work. Do you think, I mean, I know there's been a couple of houses built and some fences on the, on Braxton. Do you think some of that has been what you're talking about, getting the, debris on your property?
It's household trash. I mean, it could easily have been blown from wherever. I get it. There's lots of toys, though. I think I picked up most of them. Sporting equipment, dishes, drug paraphernalia,
Okay,
bikes, disassembled bikes, automotive parts, household items like treadmills have been on my property. I mean, it's fabulous.
okay.
But this ditch is, what I'm trying to prevent is trash from my property going across the way, because that's just certainly annoying. But I don't, as that's clearly visible from my property by just there's only a fence there, I don't really want to see that.
Okay.
How fair is
Okay.
that?
Okay, you've brought your concerns to us tonight, and I do appreciate it. I do think we can get some more signs. We do have more than one sign posted. I think there's a couple on Juniper too, and Travis, and we got one over in Gold Leaf, I thought. But you're probably right. We probably need to add some more signs and new signs, perhaps some bigger signs with that, so we can do that.
The one on Timberland Drive is well before Timberland Drive, so, and it's kind of under some trees, so it's not well.
Okay.
I mean, it's a white sign, but it's visible. You have to look for it, though.
Okay, well, we can look at adding some signs. We can look at, you're saying that as you approach Baker from Marlowe, that's not clear because of the low-hanging trees.
Right.
We can work on that also.
A lot of this matters because it has came to a head because of building this house. And my concerns are, I don't want any harm to anyone's dog, okay? I mean, there's forever dogs running around. It drives me crazy. I'm scared they're going to get hit or even kids harmed. That's one of the reasons. I wasn't trying to be the meanie of the town. I just wanted them to off limits, no more. We're building, and for your safety, the time's over, time out.
And you're right, that ditch is a major ditch that services that area over there. The couple of neighborhoods where you live, also where you're building, going back over to Orchard and then going under the railroad tracks. So we've addressed that several times. Just a couple of months ago, I think we had SIS out there, didn't we? Working on that, at the end of that cul-de-sac where you're talking about at Braxton. But I'm sure that, we will be back in there as soon as it dries up again. We can put that on the list for them to look at. Now, as far as any of that other stuff being in the ditch, we need to find out where that's coming from and see if we can identify that, because most of those people over there, and there's some nice homes that's been built over there, I can't imagine those people intentionally putting a lot of that kind of stuff in the
I
ditch.
think a lot of it is like fence boards are a fun jumping off platform. I'm just going there. They're also making temporary bridges to go back and forth to the property. We've incurred some property damage, but, how are we gonna stop that? But we've just said, time is up, no more. This is it. Off limits, and because I just fear for the safety, really.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up tonight and bringing your concerns to us, okay? Is there anyone else that would like to come before the council tonight? Looks like we can go into regular order of business then. From the mayor's report, the last few weeks here in the city, we have certainly had some deaths of some of our longtime people around. I'd like to give condolences to the family of D. Capps. Also, one of our former residents still has a lot of family here, with C.J. Foster passed away. Jason Van Horn, the manager up here at Southern Response, I think he had an unexpected passing away. Also, Miss Cooper, and one of our city employees, Matthew Childress, passed away. We had a nice service last week at the chapel for Matthew, and he will be missed. He had been a very, very helpful person in our public works and parks for the last couple of years. So just wanted to let everybody know that we'd certainly had some funerals here in the last few days, the last couple of weeks. Just updating you, the 3rd Street drainage project back there, if y'all have gone and looked at it, it is progressing. I think they're hoping to be out of here in the next couple of weeks on that. We had that one little setback where we had to work on the water line, but it is moving forward. The library, those windows have taken longer than was anticipated to get in, although he's still saying that once he gets them in, he thinks he can be through in a couple of weeks, didn't he say, George? And now the next day is next week, I think, he hopes to. Okay. And you've seen the city hall work has continued around here, working on the doors and getting the alarm and all repaired and back in. We have Alan here from Civil Southeast. Alan, we got a minute right now. Would you like to come up and see if we can answer any questions we have regarding the sidewalk project, and when you let them know when you're going to try to have that bid out and all?
Yeah, absolutely. So the sidewalk is the sidewalk that you were funded through the MPO. This is going to be the sidewalk in the Vons, and tying on at Powers and wrapping around to, what's the neighborhood we're tying into, Travis? Gilbert Creek, that's correct. So AlDOT has approved us, MPO has approved us. We currently plan to have a bid opening February the 15th. Maybe we will have you a bid price at your next council meeting. Current budget numbers, we were right on what we set up for the original budget. I did a final walkthrough. If you ride through right now, there's some pink flags in the ground. That is where the sidewalk is going to go. We had the survey crews come out and mark the final design locations. Rode that with James and Travis earlier this afternoon, and We've got just one or two little tweaks, and then we'll be ready to go out on that one for bids. So, any questions? All right.
Alan is here, and I don't know if you're going to stay around for the resolution tonight, or would you like me to go ahead and just bring up the,
It's whatever's best for you.
the Rebuild Alabama Fund is up for, again, this year. And, we applied last year and we didn't get it. And so I thought about just reapplying again this year. We'd already done the engineering on Baldwin Road, if you remember, for the work. And I spoke to a couple of you about that. Since we already had the engineering and we've already agreed that Baldwin Road is definitely in need of repair, I asked Alan just to include the Baldwin Road for our next Rebuild Alabama grant application. So,
That's correct. And so that's what I brought to you tonight. Again, the major cost, if you flip over to the project pictures page of this, the major cost is being eaten up in pictures 5 and 6. That's at the very end of Baldwin Road, nearing the railroad tracks, where it's just eaten out. The trucks are parking in the ditch. It's just it's a hot mess. So we're going to try to clean all that up, widen the road, build a proper shoulder, and that's where the majority of the funds for this cost estimate are going. So, and I mentioned, this is the Rebuild Alabama. It's only a $10 million pot of money. The city was funded in 2022. So you're probably a couple years out from having just a real strong chance, just because there's so many applications. But every year you apply, you rise. So it's a smart thing to do is to put your name back in.
didn't really cost us any money for that engineering. Y'all already agreed. Is there anything you need from us, Alan, we got the resolution later on tonight, but, or any questions from the council regarding the,
Just one or two here with, just looking at this, what we're gonna fix, is that gonna, take care of these issues pretty much? We talking about concrete, or what are we talking about?
So the mayor and I, we had spoken about building a lot, you've got one or two concrete pads
Yeah.
along the road now. And we had spoken about that, and we're a bit torn as, if we include all the concrete in this project, we can't complete it. Because concrete is very expensive these days. So one of the things we talked about is, honestly, the business owners need to have some skin in the game.
That's what I was
And
about.
so this
about to
does
say.
not, this is just, in my opinion, it is the city's responsibility to provide a adequate paved road, and that's what this project would do.
But you see on these pictures, a lot of this silt, a lot of that stuff is coming from those businesses out into the road, and,
It is. It is. Now, we would be paving their driveway to the right-of-way line. So that would eliminate some of it. But overall, if we're talking about doing large, thick concrete pads that are gonna prevent future damage to the road, if, in my opinion, if a business is going to be moving that sort of operation, they need to have some skin in the game on how they pay for that. A primary example, if you're going to open a large business on an ALDOT right-of-way, you're responsible for building the turn lane. That's not ALDOT's responsibility.
we thought if we could get the road paved, then we could go to the business owners. That's the ones that's tearing the road up where the trucks are turning in and out. And there may be some costs from us, but we're gonna ask for them to pony up. Like you said, they're gonna have skin in the game too. They're gonna have a reason to try to help us maintain that road then.
Maybe we can try and do that between now and when
And if it's
this
funded, we're open to.
comes in.
We're open to any.
That's what I was gonna ask you about, is when you mentioned about pictures 5 and 6. Definitely the landowner, business owner, whoever down there, if we're doing something extra outside of pavement, they need to throw some dollars at this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna leave that up to the city on how y'all wanna get there. Whether it's an aid to construction or
Right.
however you wanna handle that. We're just trying to provide a cost-effective solution to the problem that we see on the ground as is. And if, you know, if you get a good aid to construction, we could do, you got some drainage issues along that side of the road. We could look at something like that. None of this is set in stone. If you remember, this is the pot of money they literally deposit the check, and then we kind of figure it out from there. So, you know, by the time this would be funded, it could be funded this time, or it could be funded up to November of next year. A lot can happen in 11 months.
Yeah.
But applications are due February the 4th if you're interested in keeping your name in the hat.
I mean, I'm all for the difference in what it costs the city as to what, you know, that would be put into it. Like I say, we just gotta try to figure something out to try to keep that road in good shape if we do get it in, you know,
Oh, I agree.
from
And
here on.
I agree. And to Mr. Skelton's point, if we say, no, we don't want to do that shoulder work, it's not going to hurt anything to put 2 layers of asphalt on that road. I mean, there's no arguing that the road is heavily used by large trucks. That's not the argument. The argument is how do we fix future damage if it is fixed?
Correct. That's all.
Thank you, Randy. Mr. Skelton?
I'm good.
Allison? Mr. Phillips? All right, thank you for the work you've done on it. I mean,
All right.
this looks like a pretty good match. We're looking forward to finally trying to get that sidewalk project going, so.
Yep.
We appreciate the
All right,
work.
thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay. While we're on that, I would like for George to come up now, and y'all know we've been working for the last couple of months trying to design some restrooms that we've been talking about for quite some time, and we'll start with that, if you'd like. George stepped out of the, I didn't realize he'd gone, I thought he was standing at the door there, but
Probably got Jessica some water, if I had to guess.
But anyway, I think he got with Tom on some plans and things that they had looked at 2 or 3 years ago and tried to make some improvements, and
He's just letting the suspense build.
but we're trying to get the a price on what it would, we'll be looking at in order to build a set of restrooms both at Riot Park and at Baldwin Square. And that hopefully would stop us from having to do this, trying to rent the portalettes and everything for the big ball tournaments that we're having, or the park events that's occurring in Baldwin Square. And George, if you would, please, let us see the design on the restrooms that we've been working on here.
Okay. So I was gonna make everybody copy from my copy.
I've seen them, good.
This would be the outside of Baldwin Square. Open it up for us, look at it, just pass it down. There's 2 boxes. Take that last foot from here.
See these. You want to decide which one, if you want to go with single, double. One's 224 square feet, one of them's 264 square feet. You just need to know what type of ventilation you want. Split mini split. I know we would at the right part, but the one at Ball Square probably be open all the time.
Is this storage on the backside here?
There is not storage on the backside.
What is, where it says like meter and AC?
That's the power meter.
Is this like a covered area or just?
Sorry. This is the covered area here. Concession stand in the middle, bathroom.
This is where you walk up to?
Right, all your
Okay.
doors will be under that, including
Sure.
your window.
Sure. But back here,
That is just measurements.
just measurements. Okay, so it ends right here. This is the wall. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, and this was really what it would look like from the front.
Sure, sure.
Of course, there'd be gutters here, and this is just roof stuff. On this one, the small one, there's two plans there. One's for two toilets in each bathroom. The other one's for a single handicap. You will have to lock the door or put lockable doors if you do the single handicap. But they, I mean, they'll unlock when they come out. You can lock them from the inside. The other style does not have to have lockable doors. Excuse me. The small one takes up a lot less footprint in that small park, so. It's a difference between 220 square foot and 260-something square foot.
224 and 264.
There we go.
40 square foot difference.
Yeah.
It's the difference between 16 foot wide and 22.
But this one here is proposed with a concession stand and all of that.
That's concession and with two bathrooms, yes, sir. That would be blocked, and of course, that would look just like that
Yeah.
picture. And then the trash ramp is pretty self-explanatory, I think. It's just, underneath the existing will be concrete extended out the back with a new, double stall, pole barn to match the rest on the end, also concreted. Extending them out the back allows for the trucks to stay on the concrete instead of having to, right now, they have to go off the back of the concrete just to get most of the truck underneath it.
We'd like to get the old truck under the shed, you know.
Absolutely.
Right, so.
If
Sure.
I don't go under my carport enough, it's just right where you open the back hatch and like, go in a few more inches.
But when it's raining and all, and they're trying to work on the trucks, we're trying to give them something that would be, you know,
So this is not written in stone, price-wise, but I've added up some material and labor and small bathroom, 38,000. The large one, somewhere around 56. The small one will not have air unless you want to add a split unit on it. It'll have fans.
I don't think air would be required. That's small.
that's what.
So the large one at Rice Park, it will have air, mainly for the concession stand, and then we're gonna pinch off some air going to the bathrooms, because they won't need as much, so,
That's good, because in the summer, try to
right.
sweat.
You got a window open, so. Now, that price does not include shelves and coolers and stuff on the inside. That's just the structure, and then. So, but they're telling me they only want to do some drinks and snacks out of that one. They don't want to cook
That's
back there,
right.
so.
Keep that as I go.
I appreciate your work on this.
You're welcome. And I've also reached out to some people. I talked to a playground guy today, and he's supposed to, send me an estimate over tomorrow for 2 playground stations, installation and all, so. I'm not sure on the pricing of that yet.
I just wanted to make sure y'all are all okay with us continuing to work on that and getting this priced out, because we're gonna try to move on it pretty quick, so.
Mayor, I'd like to I'm 100% in favor of, I would like to do a workshop and sit and look at them drawings when you got time to look at them. And just to be sure it's like we want it to be before we go out for bids.
Absolutely.
I don't know, that's fine.
I want more time to look at it than right here's this meeting, yeah.
Sure.
When would you like to set a workshop for, and we'll look at the
Don't matter,
buildings?
it doesn't matter to me. I mean, don't you think we need to sit down and review it more than just a quick glance to be sure it's what we want?
Well, I mean, I'd like for y'all to. I mean, I talk with him every day on what we're trying to get, you know, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind y'all meeting.
No, but I mean, if somebody, you know, there they are, if you want to
I
take
go
them.
with what George says. I mean, he's the reason, or we hired you to do this, so, you know, I think it looks
It
like
was
it
just a thought.
meets everything.
Okay.
You're welcome to take that with you.
Here. That's good.
I don't think he wants it. I'll
Bubba,
just set
you
him right here.
Look at him. You got him?
I'll take them. You want to get out
Huh?
of here?
I'll get them fixed back up for you over here.
Thank you, George.
I'll make him some. Yeah, George, I appreciate you getting that for us, and we're gonna hopefully be ready to get all three of those projects, or both the restrooms and the, work at the trash ramp underway soon. We got that.
I'll have to tell Tom when I see him at the Y. So long as you get one step ahead of him, then I'll let Tom know that. All right, all right.
There are a few other things, but I really believe they're going to come up in the items for discussion and consideration, or I can answer any questions if you got on that. But if that's so, addressing those things, we will go into our, from the mayor's report to public services with Mr. Little.
Mayor, talking about the trash ramp and all, I think this upgrade and stuff, and try to help, you know, keep our sanitation trucks and other things, you know, I think it'll help because it seems like we're constantly, you know, truck repair. I've got number 8, and number 5, 2 or 3 different things, you know, but I know that happens, but it'll definitely help if we upgrade things down there at the trash ramp. Also, I didn't get the seniors report, but over to our building department, we've got 14 new permits that we're acting on or that's open, 34 building and trade inspections, 12 nuisance complaints, 31 total open permits at this time. And we didn't exactly start right at the start of '23, but we documented 205 permits issued for '23 and 363 inspections in '23. Like I say, there's a few months there that we didn't document.
I didn't have a computer program.
But that'll kind of give you
Okay.
a little overall there. Yeah. But nothing else that I had. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Little. Mr. Butler's under the weather tonight and was unable to attend, so I'll read his police and fire reports for him. Last month, we had 609 calls. There were 3 felony cases. We had 54 misdemeanor cases with 22 arrests, 7 traffic accidents, 166 citations. Year-end report showed that we answered 6,065 calls last year in the police department. The fire department last year responded to 901 calls, which emergency medical calls were 548. Fire-related was 108, of which 12 were structure, 14 grass woods, motor vehicles, 6. 44 vehicle wrecks with injury. Of course, we've got the other calls of mutual aid, hazardous materials, and the other things that we responded to over the course of last year. So we'll enter that into the record tonight for Mr. Butler in his absence. So you got the reports, and you can see we have hired an additional fireman and policeman, and I think that puts basically our departments both at full staff at this point. Good, we appreciate that. It's been a struggle to get there the last couple of years. Appreciate the work y'all have done on that. Thank you. Troy, you might want to come up on the vehicles. We finally were able to get those in. The water department got theirs delivered the other, a couple of days ago, and I think Troy and a couple of the others are going to try to pick up a couple this week. Is that correct? Friday?
Friday, we're scheduled to
pick the other ones up. Also, with that being said, it's been a struggle to obtain vehicles. You know, if you order them, it's been guesswork on when you get them. Basically, talking to Daniel Wade at Stiver Ford, he had a year's worth of inventory dumped on him in about a 6-week span. He was able to locate some orders that had been canceled. I know I've talked to a few people individually, just trying to keep up and get some consensus. But we do have the option of purchasing another vehicle for the police department. He was able to locate a four-wheel drive vehicle. The original one that he found that had been canceled was $43,842. Before I could get to this meeting and get an answer for that one, that vehicle was sold, and he came up with two other options. One of them is for $40,872, which is still a four-wheel drive F-150 with a V8. It has less features, less capability. There is another one that's available. Also, the one for $48,772 is carbon gray and wouldn't necessarily match the rest of the fleet. It's also bench seat, so you lose some storage options and functionality there. He was able to send me one that it has the STX package, which puts a console in the middle to give you some more storage options and room for equipment. Also, it has upgraded tires, the trailer tow package, has skid plates added to the bottom of it to protect some of the equipment there, has an extended range fuel tank, spray and bed liner, floor mats. It also adds the corner strobes to both front and rear, which would save us some installation costs there. The main thing, it adds a heavy-duty brush guard and a winch, which would give us some more capabilities as far as if we had a down tree, trying to get it out of the road immediately for safety, getting another vehicle unstuck during a storm, something like that. And also adds an inverter, although with those features, it pushed it up to $49,507. But I think it probably, if we added those features, it would be that or more. And having the winch capability and the brush guard that's designed for it would probably help there also. Like I said, we do have those options available. We would be able to pull the money from narcotics fund, so it wouldn't affect the budget that was planned by all of you already. So wanted to get your opinion, and
What's the four-wheel drive for?
it would be for the police department as well as chief's vehicle, and also during times of storms, it would add us more capability if we had to go off-road to get to someone, if we have a location, which like we've had in the past, where you have a vehicle that runs off the interstate 300 yards down past the power line, trying to get to them for a rescue operation, which we've done in the past. It would add that capability. And there's a lot of police departments that are going to the four-wheel drive F-150 plant. Mobile PD just ordered 49 of them, I believe.
So the purpose is to take it off-road if necessary?
If necessary, yes.
Okay.
And would add a capability that we currently don't have.
Okay.
Any other questions or?
I think you dropped your pen. I told him I'd like for him to discuss, see if the council had any questions. I didn't care, since we are able to get the vehicles now, but I wanted to make sure y'all were all okay with it before doing so.
Right.
No
They're just-
joyriding.
They're usually sold within days of finding out that, they are available.
Yeah,
So what you was saying was one of them was 40 and another one was 49, but the one that was 49 is a different color that,
Right, it's white like the rest of the police
so
vehicles.
we're going with the one that's 40?
I will leave that up to y'all.
I think no, because that one had the bench seat, right? You need the one that has the center console with the storage
It
capabilities.
does have a bench seat in that one.
Oh, okay.
So it would, and also doesn't have the
Which one do you want,
brush
Chief?
guard winch. I think we would have more function with the one that is 49, but I wanted to present another option if,
They said the 40 was plain, basically the plain vehicle. The 49 has the upgrade options.
The
on
winch and the
vehicle.
brush guard and the light,
Got
the strobe.
I think got better looking rims on it.
Better looking rims. Don't
I've
say
got,
that.
I've got several, I got some of the STX in my crew at work, and those trucks are very nice. And with the options, like if you were to buy the 40,000 and you add some of this stuff to it, you're gonna be pretty close up there already. So, plus what we've done with our STX, we were able to, the way the cup holders are configured, you could buy, I think it's WeatherTech or somebody has a mount that you can actually put in the cup holder for a computer. So we've done that.
right, yeah, there's a lot of
A
options.
lot of
and
options that way.
Adding the console and everything adds a lot of function to it, along with the winch and brush guard that's built in. It's 3,000 from Ford, but by the time you went out and bought that and inspected and had it installed, it's
Well more than that.
well worth it. Yes, sir.
Thank you again, Troy. Okay, moving on to administration, Mr. Skelton.
I don't have anything.
Parks, Ms. Reese?
I have a memo from Travis that let us know that all the restrooms were cleaned throughout the week at Wright and Lions Park, Baldwin Square, City Hall, the library, Still Creek, and the community center. And they also cleaned up storm debris at the lodge, the community center, and the parks. That's all.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that. Going on to Public Works, Mr. Phillips?
Mayor, I also have a list here from Travis where we ran the leaf vacuum, cleaned the ditches and drains throughout the city, picked up paper on Highway 43 West Side Service Road, Old 43 Baker Road, trimmed bushes along the North Service Road and the South Service Road. Replaced and repaired signs throughout the city. Picked up limbs throughout the city, took down Christmas decorations throughout the city, and removed the trees from HP Kane Bridge and from Knight Drive from the storm last night. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Yeah, I think it was kind of busy for Public Works and the fire department last night. We had a lot of response, but thankfully, we didn't have any real injuries or much structural damage around town, so that was good. Thank you, Mr. Phillips. All right, items for discussion and/or consideration. A, payment of bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $82,972.14.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese to pay the bills in the amount of $82,972.14. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Thank you, Mr. Little. B, discussion and consideration with approval of the graphics for the van. We tried to change the graphics around on the two new vans we have. Have y'all had a chance to look over what you have in your packet tonight? Just trying to make them a little more appeal. We wanted to see y'all's thoughts on that.
The bottom one.
You're sideways. Which one you say in the bottom?
Are you talking about the graph, like the font?
Yeah.
Not the fat font, this font here, where
Okay.
it says,
I agree with
and you
that
have
too.
the even lettering instead of it being tiny.
Can you make a mark on that? Mr. Skelton, you got an opinion?
I'm good with that.
Mr. Phillips?
I'm good with that.
That's the one we'll do. All right,
And the reflective lettering is my preference.
okay.
It just adds a level of safety also.
All right, we all agree on that. Consideration of purchase, discussion and consideration of purchasing furniture for City Hall. Jessica, do you want to tell them what you're looking at buying?
It's, just to replace a couple of chairs in some of the offices and in here, and a couple of chairs that are out front. I haven't got any prices or anything quite yet, to give y'all a total on that.
We'll try to have that for you at the next meeting on what you're looking at. Just kind of go along with, a couple of chairs we have back here are broke, you know, so we, just letting y'all know we were doing that before we started. Discussion and consideration of a licensed commissioner putting a kiosk at the City Hall. Mr. Matranga sent something from his office out regarding having a kiosk here at the City Hall, which I think would be a good idea for us to explore. Raina, I'll let you look at that real quick and we'll pass it down. If I told him I didn't think that there'd be any problems at City Hall from the council, but just letting y'all know. So I think we'll try to explore having that. That'd be a convenience just for the citizens up this way, so. Thank you on that. Moving on. The next one is discussion and consideration of making a donation to the Satsuma City Schools to assist them with their capital improvement projects. That would be a donation in the amount of $100,000. We discussed this a couple of times in our workshop. The school system is trying to make some upgrades, which we've discussed. They're trying to do working on their cafeteria. I think it did hit a snag, from what I understand, that some of the gas lines that went over that way on the old cafeteria that's been there for years was crippled, and they haven't, I think it's taking the heat out of that building over there too, so they've been trying to work on that. But anyway, they wanted to do that, and they also would like to get a jumbotron that could be used at the stadium over here. The scoreboard that we have could be used perhaps at the other end where you could see it from both sides, but something newer, nicer that's, as we discussed.
Do they have quotes for the jumbotron?
Yes, for the jumbotron they do, and I think it was a little over 200 for that, so we wouldn't even be paying half of that.
Are y'all going to be buying a jumbotron this year?
We haven't really finalized that, we've just had some discussion.
Okay, so there has been discussion of it.
There has been some discussion.
Okay.
I think they were wanting to get a commitment from us and hopefully from some business or some of the corporate people in town that they would be willing to try to sponsor in order for him to present it to the board. But you're familiar with what we're talking about, what almost all of the larger school systems have something like that now, so.
You need a motion on that, Mayor?
If y'all would like to do it, I will, Mr. Phillips.
I'll put it in the motion.
I like to see the money earmarked for specific
But it's got to be
purposes
earmarked,
and
anytime we
not-
give money, it's got to be to a
Well, not
project,
for a
you know, like-
jumbotron. I don't think we should give it for that.
Okay. Mr. Phillips got a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second.
I would like to know, Mayor, I know we talked about it a good little bit and kind of got on the same page with it,
Yes.
but where the money's coming from, or I thought that was specifically maybe coming from another
Yeah.
entity or something.
We
that
were
could-
looking at the American Rescue Fund, and that's what we were paying the matching portion. You know, the school board gave us $45,000 on the ditch, 3rd Street, that we're working on. So I was going to, my recommendation was because that is a capital improvement project for drainage, is to take 100. It's going to probably be 130,000, I would think, because of the additional work that we had to do, and pay on the 3rd Street project, and we were setting up between 100 and 120 of the remaining money for the restrooms and improvements there at the parks. And then I was recommending 100 for this out of that American Rescue Fund for this. So you'd probably be looking at around, let's see, 340,000, 350. And we got the money in the American Rescue to do that. That's what, I'd recommend us to do. So, and all those are capital projects, and that's what the money was actually given to us for.
I think if the students don't have heat right now, that'd be a critical need that we shouldn't, or they shouldn't wait on to make those repairs. I don't know. Ms. Robbins, how do you feel? I mean, would y'all be able to use $100,000 right away to repair some gas lines?
The gas lines is a part of capital outlay money that's already put aside for that cafeteria project.
So that's 100% funded already?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
But this $100,000 we're talking about is not gonna just go to this jumbotron we had talked about that also.
They
That
can
it
use the
would
money
be
for any capital project.
spent for any projects that they thought was necessary or,
Right.
Did the school
Have them
request
report,
funding?
how they spend the
from
money.
the
I mean,
funds?
I don't have any problem with the school board doing that. I don't see any problem with y'all telling us how you spend the money. Do you think that would be any problem?
Oh, no.
Okay, that's
it's not
what-
a problem. We're very transparent.
That's what I thought.
Every penny we spend, hopefully.
Well, good.
but that's where I'm coming from though. Will some of these funds be spent on other things besides this jumbotron? Or, I know that's a hard question. I just want to make sure that,
Dr. Gwen would be the one that could answer all of that, because we have done so much talking about capital projects, that's just been a minor discussion. I don't mean to make light of that, but we have really been working on some very big projects. But, I can tell you, Dr. Gwen, I'm sure, has talked to you, Mayor, and
Yes.
will talk to any of the
Yeah.
council about that. We're a team.
Right.
He leads us, but we're a team, so we would know that.
I feel their money's always been well spent. I have no problem with it.
I'd like to ask if Dr. Gwynn couldn't come to the next council meeting and then just present us with some ways that the funding would be used.
Sure, we can ask them to come.
Okay.
We got a motion and a second on the floor. Motion made by Mr. Phillips and seconded by Mr. Little. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
No,
You vote no on a motion?
even though I made a motion, then we had a discussion, and I want to know that it's not going to all go to a jumbotron. I want it spaced, kind of spaced out in different areas to be used. I guess if Dr. Gwynn tells us that the jumbotrons, they're going to put $100,000 on that, then I might have another opinion.
So I'm kind of lost, Mayor. You just took a vote.
Yeah, right.
Pass or not, or fail or what?
No.
I think Randy took his second away.
Now, let me be clear with mine, is I have zero problem funding anything with the school. Ms. Robbins, you and I go way back to Viger. And, one of my things is, we've got the restrooms we've been working on for several years now. And just my opinion, if we make this commitment before we get restrooms at Wright Park, we're gonna be in the center of a lot of controversy. And I don't want us to be there. That's strictly my opinion. Now, Dr. Gwynn comes to our next meeting and explains, what could be done. Obviously my opinion may change, but that's where I'm at the moment.
Mayor, is all this money coming from the same pot?
The American Rescue Fund,
From the,
exactly what I said. Nothing's changed since any of this we've discussed. So, Ms. Reese, what was your vote?
Oh, I voted no. Well, I mean, I didn't
You
vote.
did?
I didn't
I didn't hear
vote.
it.
Well, I didn't vote, but I wanted to ask Mr. Gwynn to come, Dr. Gwynn to come at the next meeting. So yes, my vote would be no.
All right, it failed for a 3-2 vote. Voting no was Mr. Little, Mr. Skelton, and Ms. Reese. Voting yes was myself and Mr. Phillips.
I was kind of hoping we could have tabled it to the next meeting. That's kind of where I was going with it when I had said that before a motion was put on the floor.
I don't think that's the way it was, but moving on to F, discussion and consideration of closing the Go Mesa account with Regions Bank.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little to close the Go Mesa account with Regions Bank. Moving on to resolutions, ordinance, orders, and other business. Resolution
I
20.
think you need a vote on it, don't we?
All those in favor of closing the account signify by aye.
Aye.
It's no money left in it. Resolutions, ordinance, orders, and other business. Resolution 2024-01-01, authorizing Civil Southeast to make application to ALDOT for roadway improvements.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little, seconded by Mr. Skelton. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2024-010-02, authorized purchase of one truck for the police department.
I make a motion not to exceed $50,000. Will that work?
Yeah, the resolution will have to be changed, because I think the one
Oh.
that we put it on there is 43, we put the exact amount, and then that one.
Okay. Yeah, I guess not to exceed 50.
Chief, that cover your truck, cover, okay, I'll second.
Motion made by Ms. Reese, seconded by Mr. Skelton. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. We don't have any other business to come before the council. We did have one person that came in tonight, Judge Vicki Davis. Judge, would you like to come forward and introduce yourself and to anybody that may not know you? Please come forward.
Thank you, sir. I've known Mayor Barlow for a very long time, very long time. We go way back. My name is Vicki Davis. I am a circuit court judge here in Mobile County. I was appointed in June of this year. Judge Patterson passed away untimely, and that caused a vacancy on the bench, and I was appointed by Governor Ivey to fill that position. I want to tell you 3 things about myself. I just told you the first one, and that's that I was appointed by Governor Ivey. We have a judicial nominating commission here in Mobile County, so contrary to popular belief, the governor did not just pluck me out of the air. The second thing that I want to tell you about myself is that I enjoy the endorsement of our present sheriff and both of our former sheriffs. I enjoy the support of our present chief of police as well as 4 former chiefs of police, and I enjoy the support of my colleagues on the bench. That's 2. The third thing is that I bring a wealth of experience to this position. I've been a prosecutor I've been practicing law for 35 years, but for the last 31 years, I've been a prosecutor. 10 years in the Mobile County DA's office, the last 4 of which I was the head of the murder team, which means I prosecuted only murders and capital murders. I've been on the district court bench. I've worked in a civil firm, Alfred Clausen and McDonald. I was hired by then Chief of Police Sam Cochran to be his legal advisor for the Mobile Police Department. I know, phew, I'm tired just thinking about all of that. And then the last 21 years, I've been a federal prosecutor. I went in during the Bush administration when David York was U.S. Attorney. While I was there, I've been the senior litigation counsel, which means I taught other lawyers how to lawyer. I've been the chief of the criminal division. I've been the district election officer, which means that I maintained the integrity of elections in the Southern District of Alabama, which includes not just Mobile County, but 12 other counties going north of us. So I bring a wealth of experience to the bench. While I was a district court judge, I also acted as a special circuit court judge. I've tried hundreds, maybe thousands of cases to a verdict, and I've handled, of course, many, many more in my 31 years of prosecution. So I tell everybody that I'm running to stay. I was appointed to the position, and I want to stay there. If you have any questions about my qualifications or my platform, then feel free to ask me. I'll be on the ballot in March of this year, seeking, I want to say re-election, but I've never been elected, seeking election. So if you don't mind, can I give you a little handout about me?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Something extra for you.
Oh, all right.
I hope they don't get jealous. You never know when
Thank
they-
you. Perfect. I'll put it in my purse.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it. Sure. Give me one, please, ma'am. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I will be able to vote.
Good, good.
Okay, as Judge Davis finishes up, is there any other business come before the council tonight?
No, sir. Oh,
I told you, Mayor, a while ago, late this afternoon, I received an email from five subs that we were awarded a grant for $34,686 for new vehicle education equipment. So,
hey, good.
that's 100% paid for by the grant received.
Congratulations.
That's why it's important to round up at Firehouse.
Okay, if there's no further business come before the council, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Have a good night. Thank you.